It's Ask the Expert here on CTV Morning Live. Our second segment coming up. You've got a telephone question, 613-789-6559, extension 2803. Email ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. Facebook or tweet us questions as well. We've got some questions to deal with. Brent Lewis, the owner of AirZone, is here this morning. We're going to get to our first question right away. Maria is on the telephone, and Maria, I think, has quite a common question that a lot of people have probably asked you before. Maria, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Very good. What's your question today?
My question is, we moved into a home, and I've had two different people come in. The reason is we find we have a lot of moisture on the windows over the winter, and I don't know what's causing that.
Well, high humidity levels in the house, most homes should be around 40% relative humidity in the home. As temperatures get colder outside, that high humidity indoors touches your windows and you get condensation.
Right.
So first thing we need to know is what is the humidity level in the home.
Right.
Do you know that, Maria?
She's gone now.
Oh, she's gone?
She can't hear you. Yeah.
She can't hear me. So yeah, once you get over 40%, we need to remove that. And the only way to remove that in Canada is with a heat recovery ventilator system.
Right.
So we put a system in your basement.
Is that an after furnace sort of thing?
Yeah. It really has nothing to do with the furnace.
Okay.
It can be, in a lot of cases, taken care of with running your furnace blower all the time. A lot of people don't want to have that blower running in a continuous motion because all they see is dollar signs with that motor running, right? But in reality, comfort and expense, you got to weigh the odds. So to me, running your furnace motor in a continuous motion can take care of a lot of humidity issues.
Isn't it a little harder on your furnace and everything else when if you're trying to save the dollars by having your fan on continuously, your motor on continuously? Doesn't it cost just as much or more to fire it up when it gets super cold in your house or something like that?
Well, if the furnace fan in an on position, those motors are nowadays very efficient. So they should be running in continuous motion. They're sealed bearing units. They're meant to operate. Right. So run them. And it's like your car, right? When you put the defrost on, the motor comes on and it defrosts your window.
Yes.
Run the furnace fan, the air is blowing across the windows, and in a lot of cases you can remove the moisture.
Right, right.
If not, then you need a heat recovery ventilator. We'll come and install one. They're typically around $2,000 to get an install done. Right. And it prevents that mold, mildew stuff growing on your windowsills,
and you might look at it and go, $2,000? Are you kidding me? Well, think of the cost of replacing, all the things that could be destroyed by mold, mildew, all that sort of thing.
Mold remediation's a lot more than $2,000.
Yeah. A lot of people might think that condensation has something to do with their windows themselves. Is that a possibility?
Yes. I mean, I've seen windows condensate at 30%. Nowadays with the sealed units that they have with the air gap, 1 inch, they got more of an R value. They're going to do a better job. Some of the older windows, you're going to have to look at that, right?
Right, right. When do I look at that sort of thing, Brent, when it comes to, how old your furnace is and what type of furnace it happens to be? Like when it comes to upgrading, is there a certain period of time we should be thinking about?
Yeah, furnaces and air conditioners typically in that 13, 14-year range. You don't want to be putting any money into it. So if it breaks down when it's around 13, 14 years,
then get a new one.
You really want to look at it because everybody knows you're going to put $200 or $300 into it, and what's going to happen next year?
Same thing.
$300, $400 more, and now you got this problem. You go, I got $600 invested into this old furnace.
So they have a lifespan, these things, eh?
Yeah, you know what? Furnace will last for 20 years.
It should.
15 to 20 years with proper maintenance. With the way the products are and the heat exchangers, they should have no problem.
Right.
So maintenance is a big thing. You need to take care of it.
Right. And changing the filters is one of those things I've come to discover. Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Yeah, that's.
Is there anything else the homeowner should be doing other than changing filters in their furnace every few months?
Well, every few months the filter is normal, but other than that, once a year you have to get your regular maintenance done.
Yeah.
That's when you check the safeties, the way the unit's supposed to be operating. When it comes to air conditioners, there are some things that the homeowner can do on a regular basis, like take your hose out and wash down the coil. Yeah. That's gonna make the unit efficient and it's gonna work properly.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's we got a question from Tim via email. It's right along those lines, asking about the lifespan. What's the typical lifespan of an AC unit? What were the benefits of replacing a working unit?
Right. like I said, right around that 13, 14 years old.
Right.
Your compressor's out of warranty now, and if you're going to put some money into it, you might want to look at getting something a little more efficient.
Right.
There are some OPA rebates that still are available, $250 to $400 when you replace that unit with a more efficient unit.
Right.
So you got to look at, you know, if I'm going to get $400 back to replace it, put that against that new unit, new warranty, you know, new manufacturer's 10-year labor.
Yeah.
You know, you got to really start looking at that.
It kind of makes sense instead of pouring money into the thing.
Right.
Right, to try and keep it running.
Yeah. Our diagnostic fee is $89 for the guy to come out. We can get out there, take a quick look at it, tell you before we do anything how much money it's going to be to do that repair, and then we can sit down and we can look at it and say, you know what, this is just not worth it to be able to put any money into this. Especially nowadays with the financing options that are available out there. You know, you can finance,
technology.
well, you can finance it over a certain period of time, and with the energy savings, it'll actually pay for half the financing.
We do have a couple of people standing by with questions. If you want to get yours in, there's the phone number, there's the email address. It's Ask the Expert with AirZone. We'll be back with more right after this.